Hey everyone, Frank here again. Um, I thought since I had done two previous webcam reviews, one comparing a Spedal webcam to my Logitech C922 and the other comparing a Nexigo webcam to my C922, I thought I should compare those two webcams to each other. So what we have here is the Nexigo A22 1080p webcam on this side, and on the other side here, we have the Spedal 926H, also 1080p, 60 frames per second webcam. The specs for these two webcams are basically identical. And what I did is I reset the out-of-the-box settings on these and just plugged them in to see what OBS would pick up. And oddly enough, this time when I plugged in the Nexigo, its tint wasn't as heavily tinted. The white balance wasn't as off as it was the last time I used it. So I wonder if it's using the Spedal settings or if there's some interaction. But as you can see, the picture quality between the two is very similar. And that makes me wonder if they're using, like, if the operating system sees them as roughly the same thing, if they're using the same internals, because as you can see, they're very similar. The only thing I'm doing in this comparison uh, that I would do differently if I could is I'm recording the audio through my Jabra headset. The Nexigo webcam, if you watched one of my previous videos, has a very forward-facing microphone, so it doesn't pick up background noise as well, but it's also pretty quiet, and I didn't want to deal with that this time. The Spedal webcam, on the other hand, it has a full 360-degree microphone array. It's not very good at ignoring background noise. It's very similar to the Logitech C922 in that regard. I'd say neither webcam is 100% up to the quality of the C922 Pro Stream by Logitech, but that's also a $200 webcam right now. Some places are charging even more for it. And, typically when it's sold, it's anywhere between 100, 150 bucks if you can find it at its retail price, which good luck, you can't right now. So the Nexigo A22 retails right now for about 100 bucks. I've seen some sites selling it for 89 from time to time. The Spedal webcam retails for $69.99. Both of them are available on Amazon, and I'll have the links down in the description. Um, as you can see, they are very similar out of the box. Uh, I would say that the main difference between the two, besides the audio, which, like I said, if you look at my previous videos, you'll be able to tell the difference between the two. But really, the main difference is the autofocus, and that's kind of what I wanted to point out with this video. So again, I have my Kodama's Reach Magic card here, and I'm going to test the autofocus between the two cameras. So I'm going to slowly move the card in, and let's do the Nexigo first. So I'm about 6 inches away, and the Nexigo's, it's picking it up pretty good. My hand, as it shakes, though, confuses the autofocus just too much, so I'm doing my best to hold steady, but it doesn't always like that. So I'm moving closer now, and as you can see, I'm about 3 or 4 inches away, and it just doesn't, it's just not wanting to stabilize on that. So yeah, I'm about 3 inches away, and there's just nothing. It's just not going to pull it in. So let's try the Spedal webcam. Again, 6 inches, no problem. So I'm about 4 inches, and it's autofocusing pretty well. 3 inches. At 3 inches, it is having problems, as you can tell, but it's at least trying. It's making an effort. But I'd say, yeah, the Spedal webcam, its focus seems to be best at 4 inches or more. The Nexigo, I would say, because of the way the autofocus is so sensitive to movement, I mean, if you can get it to focus, it's just better at further distances, 6 inches or more. However, you can change the manual focus on these, and I will show you that right now. I'll go into the settings here, and I'm going to do it with the Nexigo. The Spedal would be roughly the same, but I haven't shown this in a video in the past, and I just wanted to prove that the Nexigo, if you disable autofocus, you can indeed get the card in pretty sharp. So I've got the card basically 2 inches away. I've disabled autofocus, and now I'm going to play with the focus slider, and as you can see, I can dial it in. So while the autofocus isn't great on the Nexigo webcam, you can dial it in. And the same is true of the Spedal webcam. But, I mean, actually, yeah, why don't I go ahead and show that? Yeah, I know this video is turning into complete garbage. I didn't really plan it out. Actually, I haven't planned out any of these webcam reviews. It's just they were sitting here, I was plugging in, testing them out, and thought this information might help people. So here's the autofocus disabled on the Spedal webcam. And again, I can dial it in just spectacularly as close as I want to. So in sum, I would say that in terms of video quality, the two webcams are identical. In terms of focus quality, I think the Spedal has the edge. But if you disable autofocus, you can get as close as you want with either of them. In terms of audio quality, it really depends on what you want. If you're mostly going to be recording yourself and you want background noise to be minimized, then I would say the Nexigo is a better choice, but you're also going to have to tweak the volume levels because it's pretty quiet. If you don't mind if you don't mind a webcam that picks up everything, the Spedal is a good choice, and in that regard, it's similar to the Logitech C922. So that's the end of this video. I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded. Links are in the description.